Hello and welcome to the Rope Break podcast with me and Dan. So we're going to discuss everything that's happened over the European tour of WWE. So hang on a second. I'm going to change the. That's it. Okay. But where do you want to start?
I mean, first of all, I want to say whoever has been posting shit all morning, being an absolute bellend, saying, "Oh, breaking news: WWE have confirmed that in 2026 WrestleMania is coming to
London."
And instantly, I was like, "No, April Fool's Day, so you can all fuck off."
Yeah.
And every single time I've read the comments, the amount of people that are like, "Oh my god, no way, can't!" And I'm like, fucking hell, what day is it? Like,
wake up, yeah, wake up.
Day of the year that is horrid because it's one of them. Like, if you get a call early morning going, "Oh fucking hell, mum's died," you think, "Yeah, fuck off, yeah, whatever."
Yeah,
Fucking times it's true and it's happened.
yeah. It's don't believe anything
Oh,
you see on social media today. That's what I'll just say.
I feel sorry for every single bloke and woman who is going, "Oh, I'm pregnant" and stuff like that, because everyone's just going to be like, "Yeah, fuck off, no, you're not." But some of it is going to be genuine and real, but you're just not going to believe it.
But no, I did see those comments. I did see that post this morning about it coming to London. I think they said it was next WrestleMania. Look, it's too early. I don't think they've even decided next year. But anyway,
fingers crossed. Let's hope.
Yeah, I'd love it to come to me. I think it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I said to you at the time, not last summer, the summer before the first AEW All In at London, nearly 2 years ago.
Wembley.
Yeah, it was only like a month before that Money in the Bank was in London. And obviously, Cena came out as a surprise and said, "I want a WrestleMania to be in London." Blah blah blah. And I remember at the end of the show in the press conference, Triple H going, "Thanks, John. Like, you've just made my times harder, because it's okay you going out on national TV and saying, let's bring London, but it's not as simple as that. It's really complicated, and there's so much that goes into it, and the logistics of it are very, very difficult. It's not as easy to just say, let's do Wembley in London." And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. Like, WWE is the biggest company in the world. AEW had only been going like 3 or 4 years at the time, and they sold like 90,000 tickets for Wembley. So what do you mean, Triple H, that it always difficult going to Wembley? Well, clearly it fucking isn't.
Yeah. It's not difficult at all. But yeah. Anyway, how do you think the European tour went?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it's the same every single time that they do anything in Europe. I love going on Twitter and Facebook and seeing, wake up, American fans. This is what it's supposed to be like every week. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a reason why every single wrestler says that their favourite place is to come and play Europe, because it's loud. I mean, where else in the world apart from London are you going to hear 15,000 people screaming, "You're a wanker" to Gunther and shit,
Yeah, that's brilliant. We're sort of, what are we, 2 or 3 weeks out of WrestleMania now?
Yeah.
So it's getting up close now, and I think there's only like 8 matches announced, 4 for each night. It's really, I don't know what else they're going to do, but build up wise, it looks really good. It's getting better. It's been very quiet up until like the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
How have you enjoyed the Cena promos?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle of it. I've seen a lot of people hating on it, which I think is a little bit too far. And I've seen other people going, "These are the greatest promos I've ever seen in my life," and I'm like, well, like, calm down. Like,
Calm down. Yeah,
in the middle of it, like, they're not terrible, but they're not great either. To be honest, I can say. I do think a couple of them have been a bit boring, where I'm like, fucking hell, John, like, get to your point, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think the best promo was on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very off. You can clearly see he's not been, I don't know, sort of into it. I don't really know. It's strange. He doesn't seem, you know what I mean? It seems off.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because John Cena's been a face for such a long time, you know, a good guy for such a long time. It's difficult for us to see him any other way.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's doing an incredible job as a heel, but I don't think he's doing a bad job as a heel either.
No.
I think it's fine. You know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. And also, I mean, did you see that? Apparently, The Rock put on Instagram, "Hello London," and him getting off a plane, and everyone's like, "He's going to be on Raw tonight." Obviously, he wasn't. So
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just we're like I say, we're like 3 weeks out of WrestleMania, and it's been a slow build. If you know what I mean, they've come out. He's come out at the start of every Raw.
Yeah.
And sort of said a little bit. Last night was probably the best one he's done, where he came out and they both were having backwards and forwards. And then there was that bit where, you know, Cody got him, and it was like, okay, this is better.
It was it was fine. Yeah, I do agree. It probably was the best one that he's done. I do think that a lot of things. I mean, I think last night it's very clear that AJ Styles, Logan Paul will probably be at Mania.
Oh, it's been confirmed.
Yeah,
That's already been. It was confirmed last night. That's been official. Logan Paul versus AJ Styles.
Yeah. What involvement The Rock is going to have at Mania, I don't know. Yeah.
We've been discussing it, haven't we, about Bianca, Rhea, Io. That's obviously going to be a triple threat match.
Yeah.
I don't know why they sort of played around with the idea.
Yeah, I thought it was an okay match. I thought, you know, I felt like all three of them did a good job in that match. Like the main event. So, I think that the triple threat won't be as good as just straight up Rhea versus Bianca. I think that would have been a much better wrestling match as a spectacle, but they obviously wanted to get Io in there somewhere. Who wins it? I don't know. I can't see Io winning the match for some reason, unless if Triple H really wants to put Io over and really solidify her as a main player, then Io should retain, because if she beats both Bianca and Rhea in the same match, then there's no better statement for it to make. I think they're going to give the belt back to Rhea. I hope that they don't, to be honest, because I don't think on Io. If Io's not winning, I think it would probably be better for Bianca to win the belt. It's been since she's had the Raw Women's title. So yeah, I think probably the biggest talking point is probably what is CM Punk's favour. What it's got to the point. What is it?
That they were still talking in the ring, and the banner bits come up at the bottom, like producer and the banner, and I was like, are they just going to cut them straight off? They're still talking. What's going on here? And it went on for ages. And I love that bit where they just cut it, where it goes, that wasn't the favour I was asked.
Yeah.
That wasn't the favour I was promised, sorry. And that was brilliant. That was.
Yeah, and what's clever is I think 3 or 4 times while Punk gets down on one knee and he's thanking Roman Reigns, 3 or 4 times where Heyman's just kind of like mouthing, "Don't do it."
Yeah, I saw that bit where he goes, "You want me to acknowledge you as your tribal chief?" And he's like,
"No, don't
do it."
That that isn't the favour that I'm owed.
Well, you see him as well when he went, "That's not the favour I was owed." He went,
"Yeah,
as if say, don't fucking say it. Don't say it."
Yeah.
But there is talk though of Paul Heyman screwing both of them over and signing with Seth.
I mean, that do you know what? I've not even thought of that, and that would be fucking amazing. Because no one really, I'll be honest, up until you saying that, I hadn't even thought of it. So if that happens, I wouldn't have seen that coming. It would be an amazing turn. That would have been really cool. Like if he screws Roman and it looks like he's going to give, the win to Punk, and then
Screws Punk.
And screws Punk inside to it, or he then screws Punk and fucking Brock Lesnar's music hits and Brock's back.
Yeah. But that's what some people are saying. They're saying that Paul Heyman's going to screw both of them and side with Seth.
I think there's so many. To be honest, that for me is the only reason why I'm happy with Roman being involved in that match, is because now we get it's such an interesting dynamic now with what is Heyman going to do Roman and Punk. I mean, you called it weeks ago that the favour will be if he wins that triple threat, he'll get added to the Cody Rhodes and John Cena match. Now, just imagine he left WWE 12 years ago because Vince wouldn't give him what he thought that he deserved, which was the main event. It was the only thing that he's ever wanted to do since he was a kid, was to main event Mania, and Vince had never wouldn't ever give it him, even though he definitely deserved to main event wrestling. I mean, if you look at his last 3-year run, he was champion for like fucking 2 years of it. He was, he was probably the most over with the crowd at that time. He was outselling Cena for merch, which was unheard of in that time period. The fact that he didn't get to main event Mania in that run was honestly baffling and shocking from Vince, to be honest. But it would be funny that his first Mania since coming back, because obviously he was injured last year's Mania. His first Mania since coming back, Triple H has him in the main event of both nights.
Yeah.
So for me, the whole Heyman favour thing, and obviously Heyman used to be in Punk's manager and is now Roman's manager, but that dynamic makes it interesting. But I still kind of feel like it's unfair on the storyline, and it's unfair to Punk and Seth to shoehorn Roman into a match that really has no rightful place being in. It's like, oh, well, Roman Reigns has to be a part of WrestleMania, and he has to be in the main event. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't. I'm not being funny. I like Roman Reigns, but it's like, what? For example, like we were just saying, Punk definitely deserved to main event of Mania in his first run, and it's a disgrace that he didn't. Did you know that last year's main event of night one, the tag team, Cody and Seth versus Roman and Rock, that was Seth Rollins' first ever Mania main event?
It's crazy, isn't it?
And if you think what Seth Rollins has done in the last decade, if you include everything he did with the Shield, was that 13 years or something? That's a long fucking time that he's been right at the top of this industry. And last year was his very first WrestleMania main event.
That's what Roman was saying in the promo.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this year's Mania is Roman Reigns' fucking 10th.
Yeah,
I don't understand how Roman 10 and people like Seth had only had one, which was last year, and up until this year, Punk had had none. And it's like,
well, that was what Roman Reigns was. Yeah, well, that's what Roman Reigns was saying to Seth. He says, "You broke all this down." He goes, "I've been doing all the work. I've been at the top. I've been doing everything. Where have you been?"
Yeah, but I
just like shitting on him.
I just think I think it's criminal that, as good as Roman Reigns, no one can give me a good enough argument for him to be in 10 Manias main events when there are other people like AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and Punk that had been wrestling for that company for 10 plus years and hadn't main evented a Mania. And if you look at how big Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rock, and if people go on the Undertaker and his streak, Undertaker was 21-0 before Brock beat him. But how many of those 21 wins in a row were main events? 1 or 2?
I don't know if I think was one of them. I can't remember any of them really.
I think maybe one was the. I know his incredible match against Shawn Michaels wasn't the main event because I
No.
remember. I can't remember who the main event was. I think Austin was in it, but I remember Austin saying, "Yeah, cheers, Taker, cheers, Shawn. How the fuck are we going to go out and beat that? Because it was so good." I think was Taker versus Triple H inside Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels, a special guest ref. I think that was main event, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get.
But like, even without googling it, like, he definitely wasn't in many Mania main events, and this is the Undertaker.
No.
You know, Austin and Rock have been in nowhere near 10 main events. Fucking Cena's been there for nearly 25 years. You know, is it 21, 22 years now? I think it's 22 years since he's made. Like, I just, it's like, how is Roman in 10 main events when there are people like that are a million times better than Roman? Like, as good as Roman is, he's not a Rock, he's not an Austin, he's not a Cena, he's not had that kind of impact. As good as he is, he hasn't had that kind of impact. So I just find it wrong, and I do think that it has been overkill with him. It's like, obviously, like I said, I don't mind it because of the whole Heyman favour thing, but like, has Roman Reigns not had enough? Does he really need to have another Mania main event?
I think Roman's is. I think he's winding down. I can't whatever happens at this match, where does he go? Where does he fit in?
Well, to be honest, he's the only one that I can't see winning that match.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I'm 90% sure Punk's going to win it, and I'm 10% sure that if it's not Punk, it's Seth. I'm 0% that Roman is winning that match.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, he has no place in that match. It's only the Paul Heyman thing. That's it. Which doesn't. He's Paul Heyman's Roman's manager at the minute, but that's got nothing to do with Roman really as a character. It's all about Paul Heyman. Who's he going to pick? What favor does Heyman owe Punk? Roman's got nothing to fucking do with that. So it's like, and the fact that we think, again, we don't know. I mean, for years, me and you thought that Brock Lesnar and Undertaker fucking hated each other, and then it turned out after Taker retired that they were actually fucking best mates, and it was like, fucking pair of bastards. You had the world through.
Yeah.
Saying is all this hatred between Seth and Punk. Is it real? Is it not?
Yeah.
Not like it could very well come out when Punk.
I think there is some there, and I think it stems back to when they were in ROH, Ring of Honor together.
Yeah.
But there's something there. I don't think it's as bad as they're making out. Let's put it that way.
So I said this to Bex when we got in bed after watching it on Monday, and I said, Seth said the right thing for his character and what he's doing. He said the right thing, but when he said to Punk, wipe those fucking tears out your eyes. You don't deserve it. And I'm like, fucking hell, Seth. Like, even if you hate him and want him dead, you can't say he doesn't deserve a main event of Mania.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, as much as you don't like the man, you can't say that he doesn't deserve to at least once in his career main event of WrestleMania. What he's done, fucking, it was, and he genuinely did have tears streaming down his cheek. And Heyman, did you hear Heyman? His voice was proper quivering when he was saying that you're now a Mania main eventer. It means a lot to him. I just think it'd be the double fuck you to Vince. He never gave Punk what he wanted.
Well, not only that, it must be something to AEW as well, as if to say, look, your guy that you got rid of because of some silly little argument is now main eventing. Well, two of your guys are main eventing WrestleMania.
Well, if you look at his last match, and this is what I'm saying. If you look, I'm not saying that the very first All In at London shouldn't have been MJF versus Adam Cole. Of course, it should have been. Like, of course, 100% it should have been. Like, MJF was the reason why they sold that many tickets. And obviously, there was a big reason for Punk, which is why the second year Punk wasn't there. He'd come back to WWE, and they only sold like 42,000. It was half. It was less than half from what
Yeah.
they did before. And I do think a big factor of that was Punk, but MJF was definitely a massive reason why a lot of those tickets got sold. So it definitely should have been the main event, but. Everyone always says you never want to go on second, and that was that is their equivalent of like a massive WrestleMania, not just a normal WrestleMania. Like last year was a massive milestone because it was the 40th Mania, you know, which is why AEW fans was giving WWE a load of shit because the way Mania ended last year was everyone in the ring congratulating Cody, and it was like, but it that wasn't just because Cody's finally finished his story and everyone wanted to be a part of congratulating him in the ring. That was it. It's a celebration. It's the 40th WrestleMania. It's a milestone. That was why in like a celebration way. But I think they whether it's true or not, I don't know. I think a lot of facts have come out now that says that Tony Khan was talking shit. But at the time, he said that it was the most tickets ever sold for a wrestling show ever. I think it's come out. I mean, I think London's police said that there was like, with staff and everything, there was only like 70,000 people in Wembley. So I think they definitely did lie about a lot of the numbers. I think a lot of that's come out now. But it's everyone says at any big pay-per-view, never mind a monster pay-per-view like the first ever, you know, massive wrestling show at Wembley, SummerSlam in '92. No one wants to go out second anyway because everyone says that's the forgotten match. Rather want to be first or last, you know. Coming up second, I think it was Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho was pissed off his last Mania match against Owens that it was second, and he was saying like that the match that's second is the match that no one really cares about. That's the worst spot to be in. Is that match. Now the first, because on the pre-show they had MJF and Adam Cole win the tag titles. That first night at Wembley. The first official match once the pay-per-view started was the Jack Perry match. Yeah. The second match was CM Punk and Samoa Joe. So spot number 2, that's where you're going, Punk. At the biggest pay-per-view there, where half the fans are there to see him, you're going in the spot that no one gives a shit about. You know. So.
Yeah. I mean, getting back onto Mania, I mean, is there other matches that are coming into play on the card? I mean, it looks like we're going to have Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's official now. Yeah, that's official.
We're also probably going to have Toomey Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that bit.
Yeah, Timu Undertaker.
The Timu Undertaker.
I'm so torn on this, right? Because like, whenever someone says that it's shit, like everything that Drew McIntyre has done for WWE in the last 12 months, he deserves more than wrestling Priest at Mania. But you think, hang on a minute, like at last year's Mania, Priest became world champion.
Yeah.
You know, he's not some shitter. You know, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I think a very, very good match, but I do think Drew probably does deserve a bigger spot. I can't lie. You know, if you look at what he's done over this last 14, 15 months, from Punk injuring himself at the Rumble, so that's like 15 month ago. He built an incredible storyline against a man who was out for 5 months with a torn tricep.
Yeah.
He kept a rivalry going, built that rivalry, pulled us as an audience in, kept us laughing, kept us going, fucking hell, this rivalry is amazing, it's brutal, it's fucking twisted, you know. That was the best rivalry of the year up until, you know, Owens, Cody, all that happened, which was amazing. But how incredible that Drew Punk rivalry was, and how brilliant the 3 matches were.
Yeah.
The fact that he built that when Punk was injured and wasn't there shows how talented he is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I think going on, and to be honest, I won't be surprised if spot number 2 is Priest against Drew that no one gives a shit about. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I have got to say this because me and you have kind of given the whole Jay and Gunther a bit of stick, and rightly so. There was going nowhere with it. On this European tour is kicked off, but what they did on Raw,
Jay hurt, Jay bleeding, Jimmy tied up. Yeah.
Well, all the way around. Jimmy bleeding, Jay tied up. They are identical twins, so I'll let you off. I mean, but to be honest, it was the visual Gunther after it had finished, and Gunther's
blood everywhere,
covered in it. Obviously, it was fake blood. You know, we all know that, but who cares? It looked amazing. I think, that rivalry's got really interesting now. And I think they've done an amazing job. And that fucking slap from Jimmy, I felt. I'm sat at home thousands of miles away, and I felt that fucker.
Yeah, I think they've written off Jimmy off of TV because after that, I don't see him coming back after that for a while.
No, do you think he's injured again?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, he did the match well, sort of.
Are they going to start? Do you think they're going to start building a Jacob versus Solo thing now? Because we're 2.5 weeks away, and we don't know.
I think WrestleMania is going to be. I think it's going to be a triple threat match. I think we're going to get LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and Jacob Fatu. And then I could see Jacob winning the US title.
Yeah.
And then Solo and Jacob go in.
I mean, what a future Jacob Fatu has. What a start. He's just... And it now really makes sense what I was saying to you at the time before Jacob had debuted, which was that they were cautious of debuting Jacob because they didn't want to take the shine away from Solo because of how good Solo was doing. After Roman dropped the belt to Cody, and Solo was like, right, well, I'm the fucking tribal chief now. And how amazing he was. And Solo, if you think back to 12 months ago, it's been that long now. But if you think back to that time, Solo was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
He really owned it. His promo work, when he was going around saying, I'm the real tribal chief, and he stole the Ula Fala, it was amazing. And it now makes sense that WWE were really cautious and held off as long as they could before debuting Jacob because they knew Jacob's going to outshine him and Jacob will look like the star because he's a freak in the ring. He just oozes charisma.
Yeah.
And he's funny. And his promo work is amazing. The passion that drips out of him. And unfortunately, as good as Solo is, if he's on camera next to Jacob, he does take a lot of the spotlight away from him because of how good he is. I think he's got a massive Jacob Fatu. I think he's definitely a future WWE champion. Yeah,
I'm almost certain he'll win the US title, and then we'll have Jacob versus Solo.
Yeah.
I don't think they need the title, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff that I mean, what are they going to do with the WWE Tag Team titles? They're with the Street Profits at the moment.
Well, you've also got the Viking Raiders with the Raw ones as well.
That was really weird, that segment. They brought them out after the New Day won. By the way, you made Pete. You had the return of Tyler Bates.
And then I have them get beat.
And then they have them get beat.
I don't get it.
Crash Republic come back, and you think, oh, fucking hell, they're going to... Those two together are like top. Oh, no, they're just going to put over New Day.
Even more shocking, it's Tyler Bates' return, who's an incredible wrestler. And they've returned him in London, his home country, and Pete's home country. And you've had... It's very unusual for them to have the home favourites, especially that are baby faces. I mean, what is Pete Dunne? Is he a baby face or a heel? I don't think he knows what he is at the minute, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he's confused, that boy, at the minute. Tyler Bates, obviously a big baby face. I mean, the fact that he's been gone for that long and all of the O2 Arena in London when Pete Dunne was in the ring chanting, "We want Tyler."
Yeah.
You know, and not only it's unusual to have someone returning from injury lose the first match, but in the home country as well, it was like very, very strange.
I was hoping Pretty Deadly would have won, but I can understand why they didn't, because the previous week they had, the Street Profits have only just won, so I knew that they were going to be put over. But they got a massive crowd reaction, like I knew they would,
Yeah.
because everyone cheers for the British guys. But what I will say for the European tour is they've had certain people from the countries wrestle. So when they were in Spain, you had A Kid or Axiom. Then who did they have when they were in Spain? I can't remember. They had someone turn up.
Yeah, it was Axiom in Spain.
Yeah, it was Axiom. So yeah. And then the weird thing I said to you as well. I said they were in Smack. There was it was Raw, wasn't it? It was in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're in Scotland and you feature no Scottish wrestlers. You could have had Drew McIntyre, Piper Niven, Alba Fire. No one. And then on the SmackDown, which was in London, you had Drew McIntyre, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven.
Yeah.
All on the same. It's like, really? And I know some people go, well, hang on a minute. They're SmackDown, and that was Raw. But you could say that they swap over all the time at the minute. I just thought it was a bit strange. They're in Glasgow, right? And you don't have Drew McIntyre. Even do a promo. You don't even have to have a wrestler. Just come out and talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first two matches, or the first and the third match, I can't remember now if there's much in between them, but were both quite shocking results. I think New Day beating New Catch
Republic.
I think, like I said, having both of them get beat on the home soil and Tyler Bates' first match back from injury is very strange. It's unusual to do one of them, never mind both of them. And then it was either the second match or the third match, I can't remember. But I was shocked that Penta and Braun got beat off Finn and Dom.
I didn't because you can clearly see that they're building up. I think they're building up a fatal four-way between Dom, Finn, Penta, and Braun. They're obviously building up something for the Intercontinental title there. But I was surprised. He was coup de grace and he pinned him 1-2-3 clean in the ring.
That's what shocked me. It was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's also, you finding it very odd that WWE are doing things very un-WWE like recently. Like Michael Cole mentioning, we're now watching the incredible Penta in the ring. Well, if you're tuning on SmackDown, you're going to see his baby brother, Ray Phoenix, is debuting on SmackDown. Both of them were in the famous Lucha Brothers.
Lucha Bros, yeah.
It's unusual for him to kind of like mention, un-WWE names and things like that.
Well, this tour, or this week, in fact, they've been mentioning it more than normal. So the first instance was where I think it was on SmackDown. They did the promo and then they went, "Oh, Ray Phoenix," and they said, obviously, the late luchador, Penta's brother, the famous Lucha Bros. And then on NXT, they had I don't know if you saw it. They had a sequence on NXT with I can't remember now, two guys from AEW. I can't remember now. I can remember what they said. And he goes, you remember, if it doesn't work out for you, you could always go back to the other. He goes, oh, no, you can't. You've burnt all your bridges there.
Yeah, that's what someone said it to Ricky Saints.
That's it.
Yeah.
Both of them were in AEW. And then you had Cena as well. He goes, I make money for billionaires. You just steal money from their kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. It's all kicking off now. They're all saying it.
And I loved Cody's remark saying saying to Cena the only reason why you achieved so much was because you was loved by the man that isn't here anymore and that we can't
We
talk.
can't mention. Yeah. He goes, you were done by someone who's sitting in an office, the guy we can't mention anymore. It's like, oh, fucking hell, this is really kicking off now. Brilliant. No, that was all cool. Well, yeah, I did find it weird that the New Day won, and then you had the Viking Raiders come out and do nothing.
Yeah, they just hey, here's my titles. Hey.
Yeah, there you go. And walk back up. It's like, right, okay. Right. Not even in the ring, like just out on the ramp.
Also, I need to mention this as well while we're talking about that. No, ignore me. Different match. But I'm just like how much I love Finn.
Yeah.
Not the weekend just gone. The weekend previously, I was in his hometown of Bray. So yeah, how much I love him. He's been one of my favourites for years. I think he's massively underappreciated, massively underutilized. If you look at how good James Conner is, he trained him. If you look at what Becky Lynch has done for women's wrestling, he trained her. He's Finn Balor is incredible and he's so overlooked.
Yeah.
And for months now, we've needed him to turn back babyface, and we need his old music back, and we need him to start doing the Demon King again. But they've been teasing the Demon King now for 12 months. Every single time, even when Finn's not there, you're in the Judgment Day hangout, and then all of a sudden the camera will turn, you'll see like a Demon King lunchbox or a Demon King shirt, but it doesn't fit. It's not like they're doing, oh, well, they just kind of, no, they're clearly hinting at something. And for the last, it feels like fucking 6, 7, 8, 9 months, maybe even longer, but pretty much since Rhea and Damien got which is like almost a year ago, it's felt like Finn is pissing off Liv and Raquel and Dom, and that Liv, Raquel and Dom are going to turn on him. But it's been going on for fucking 9 months. Fucking babies are born quicker than this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's nearly a year now, and it's like I'm bored. Pull the trigger or don't. Stop fucking teasing. Every single time you can, it's like Finn on Raw last night turning around to Raquel going, "Don't you worry, Raquel. I know you lost your Intercontinental title yesterday.
I'm not.
I'm gonna win it." And the look that Raquel and Liv. And then, obviously, after they won the match, Finn's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Pearce and I'm going to get myself an Intercontinental Champion match. I'm going." And then Liv turns around and goes, and like, she's trying to stir shit with Dom, going, "Dom, are you going to let him speak to you like that?" And it's like, "Well, no, I understand what he means." And she's like, "No, you worked just as hard for that win. He's overlooking you." And like, but this has been going on for nearly a fucking year. Like, do something. It's fucking boring. And it's
I'm pretty sure that I reckon we're coming to the end of the Judgment Day.
It's dull now.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it's over and where everyone turns up.
Well, I feel sorry for Carlito. I don't really know what Carlito's going to do when Judgment Day goes. I think JD McDonough will be fine because he's an amazing talent if he's given the opportunity to, which personally I don't think he will. And that's just because I kind of see him as a same as a Tyler Bate, as a Pete Dunne. They're brilliant wrestlers, but for some reason they never really used in big spots. I don't know. But I think just if they turn Finn back babyface, so you have Dom and everyone turn on Finn and kick him out, that instantly turns him Finn the babyface. You give him his old music back, his old look back, and you have him do the Demon King more often. I know he said that he doesn't like doing it often anymore because of how long it takes. He's sat
the makeup,
fucking 4, 5, 6 hours while they do all the makeup, and he hates it. Of how long it takes and stuff. But you could just say to him, "Look, how much the fans love it. Just do it, once every 3 or 4 months."
Yeah.
We definitely need to see it at least minimum 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
So yeah, I think just do that. it's not like they have to come up with something new. Just let him do what he was doing years ago that was so successful, what he loved.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't know where they're going now with the Judgment Day. It all seems to be a bit messy. I did hear some reports though that they're going to be bringing back the Evolution pay-per-view, the women's only pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I think that's good. That's a good shout. I'm up for that because yeah, I think there's enough women now to have their own pay-per-view, enough titles anyway.
Yeah, I think Becky Lynch will come back on that pay-per-view, and
hopefully,
I also think Paige.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. We still don't know who this. Well, I think we all know that it's Aleister Black now. That's.
I hope so. I hope so.
We're coming close. I reckon.
Gotta be.
The thing where it come up with the number 4, and then it come up with loads of other numbers. Like what are they trying to tell us here? Saying here, it's obviously in April, but what I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope it's at Mania. Like I know a lot of people are saying it'll be the Raw or SmackDown after Mania. A lot of people are saying the SmackDown after Mania, but I hope it's not. I think Aleister Black is a big enough star to bring him back at Mania. I don't know how or what you do, but it doesn't matter. Like he'll get a pop that insane. Just do so. Whoever wins the Intercontinental title match, he comes out, does his entrance, fucking old music, the old sitting up out of a coffin thing that we all love. And then he walks down to the ring and basically says, "I'm your next challenger for the title." You could just do something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Have to be, but you definitely have him a part of Mania. Don't wait until the SmackDown after. Do it during Mania.
It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interesting where, like Ray Phoenix sits in.
Yeah.
Because he debuts. He's debuting this Friday.
Yeah. I think they're doing the right thing. I think obviously because
keep them separated for now.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think if they'd have known when Ray was legally allowed to debut like 4 weeks ago, which would have only been like 7 or 8 weeks after Penta debut. I think known that he could have got him because they thought it was going to be like 7, 8, 9 months, which is why they did his own. I think if they'd have known it'd have only been a matter of weeks, they'd have probably have debuted them both together as a tag team. But I think it'll work out better for both of them, to be honest. I think a lot of people who haven't seen much of Penta are going, fucking hell, this guy's really good. Well, wait till you see Ray Phoenix because Penta is really good, but Ray Phoenix is even better.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a blast.
I think how well Penta's done as a singles, I think the fact that Ray Phoenix is somehow even better than Penta, which almost sounds ridiculous to say when you look at how good Penta is, but somehow Ray is. I think with how well Penta's done as a singles, they've probably looked at it and gone, well, I don't think Ray's as charismatic as Penta, but I think he's better in the ring. So I think they're going to give him, which is why they've done one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
Yeah.
They'll probably give Ray a couple of months as a singles run, see how he does on his own, and then at some point they'll reunite him as a tag team because we have to see the tag teams in any iteration. We need to see Lucha Bros and the Usos, Lucha Bros versus
New Day.
New Day. We need to see him against Street Profits.
Street Profits,
Motor City Machine Gun, I think, will be a great match. Iteration of all them 6 tag teams all wrestling each other, amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think they're going to keep them single for now.
Yeah,
and then bring them back later on, maybe see what happens down the line. But with 3 weeks out, there's still loads of matches. I think there's going to be announced for Mania.
Yeah,
it's just crazy that they haven't announced more, even though we can see stuff coming.
Yeah.
And I know they said as well that they're struggling to sell tickets for Mania, and it's like, well, that's because it's been a slow burner. It's not been like the previous years where we've all been like really hyped. We're only just getting to that point now.
No, but it's mad, isn't it, that heel Cena versus Cody Rhodes in the main event of night 2
Yeah,
is interesting as Cody versus Roman in the previous 2.
yeah,
It's mad, really, because you'd think, like, if someone had said to you 12 months ago, you'd have thought, oh my God, that'd be amazing, you know. And everyone's a little bit like, meh, whatever.
yeah. But I mean, this WrestleMania's kind of. I kind of feel like at this WrestleMania, I'm like, meh. It's not mad.
I think me and you was excited for the last couple, and a lot of people were going, "No, I'm not really that bothered." And then this year, me and you were going, "I'm not really, you know, as excited as I usually am." And loads of other people are going, "Oh, this is the most excited I've been in years." So I think it's taste and personal preference.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this sounds really bad. The only thing I'm interested in is Punk, Seth, and Roman. It's literally the only thing that I'm interested in. I mean, I'll be honest. I am looking forward to seeing Randy and Owens. I think that'll be a great match. I just hope that they do some kind of, you know, no holds barred.
Oh, that was it. That was what I was going to say. Jacob Fatu said it. He said, "I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be the last man standing." And I was like, "Well, that's what they're doing. They're going to have Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu in a last man standing match at Mania. It's either going to be a triple threat or it's going to be those two in a last man standing match."
Yeah.
It was just a little thing he planted because he was talking to Solo and he goes,
"Now, I'll be honest, don't tell me no fibs or no lies, Mr. Kevin. The truth. Over these last few weeks, when you've been talking to your wife and you've been explaining something to her or whatever, and instead of saying, "Do you know what I mean?" as a lot of people do, have you been doing the Jacob Fat? Yeah, I mean, have you been doing it? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I haven't. No, you have.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to have Tom. What is it? Tonga Low. He's got to be due back soon.
Yeah, who cares his shit?
Brilliant. I think we'll leave it there for now. But it's been great. We'll have to catch up again soon, hopefully sooner. Yeah, and
go whenever you want. I mean, it's just hard, isn't it? Both of us go, yeah, we want to do a podcast, but it's sunny outside, and we
have to catch it.
Now, I will have to say this. I will be the one to kind of take the blame for this, but you need to understand. You live in London. You get a lot more sun than I do. So in Manchester, when the sun's out and you're like, let's do a podcast, I'm like, yeah, but it might be the only sun I get for the next 3 months.
Yeah. You know, yeah. And I'm like, you're like, where are you? And I'm like, out in the sun. And you're like, no sun here.
You fucking messaged me yesterday afternoon going, oh, I think I'm gonna cancel the podcast today. Me and the missus are like, look at the sun here. And I'm like, bastard, look at my grey cloud.
It's blue skies here again. It's brilliant. It's lovely. Yeah, but we'll work around it. We'll come back together like we always do, and we'll have something to talk about. It's always something to talk about when it's wrestling. So, but we'll leave it there. Thank you guys for listening. As always, I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. See you next time, guys.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.